24. 5 days later, the high priest Ananias came down with some elders, and it's never a good thing when you have to bring your attorney. I mean, there are some good attorneys out there, but yeah, it's just a certain man named Tertullus. And they reported their case against Paul to the governor. And when Paul had been summoned, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, "Your Excellency, because of you, we have long enjoyed peace. And reforms have been made for you. You're just awesome. Everything you lay your hand to is gold. We couldn't be in a better place because of you." That's the kind of stuff he's saying. Because of your foresight. So you see what we need before we even know it. And we welcome this in every way and everywhere with the utmost gratitude. Oh yeah, they're laying it on thick. But, just so we don't detain you any further, I beg of you to hear us briefly with your customary graciousness. We have, in fact, found this guy to be a pestilent fellow. He's an agitator among all the Jews throughout the world, and he is a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. All right, y'all, words have meaning. What kind of picture are they painting of Paul?
He's a troublemaker.
He's a villain. I mean, he just, you think him and Hitler would be buddies, it's just, but if you ask that centurion, or that tribune, who was watching Paul, do you think that would have been his opinion of him? I don't think so. The ones that know him know what kind of person he is. And seriously, and this is something that y'all, I know y'all seen. People begin to trust you as a person. And not just the words you say, but I have people that will believe what I say because I'm the one that says it. All right? And they begin to have confidence in me because they know who I am. All right? And people could accuse me of things. And I'm like, no. He wouldn't do that because I know what kind of person he is. They can trust me. They can have confidence in me because they have learned who I am. Have we learned who God is? Do we know the kinds of things God will do? Then when we're in a situation where I'm not sure how things are going to fall out, can we still trust God? Because that's part of our faith. In Hebrews 11 and 6, is it 6? No, it's not 6. I think it's 1. I forget. It's there if you get to Hebrews 11. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. The evidence, or some things say the assurance of things not seen. Peter is in the boat, and he sees Jesus out there walking on the water. Is that Jesus? Lord, is that you? Yeah, if that is, then command me to come out there. I'm telling you, he had all the reason in the world to expect that it wouldn't work. What kind of person was the one he was asking? He could trust him. And so, that's a lesson we need to learn. When we go out there and we're not sure what is going to happen, we've got to be the people that take that step, trusting that God is going to show up. And if we are the people that will take that step, that's the people that God will send. He's not going to send the ones that have to be in control of every situation. He's not going to send the ones that know the perfect thing to say every single time. He's going to send the people that trust him enough said, all right, I'll go. As long as you lead me, we're good. That's who we have to be. Sorry. Let's get back. All right, so Paul and the guy said, he even tried to profane the temple. And that's why we seized him, because he's an awful person, and we had to get him off the streets. And by examining him yourself, you will be able to learn from him concerning everything of which we accuse him. And the Jews also joined in this charge. You know, they backed him up by asserting, oh yeah, Felix, all this stuff is true. You don't even need to talk to Paul. I don't know if they said that, but yeah. And when the governor motioned to him to speak, Paul replied, you know what? I cheerfully make my defense, because I know that for many years you have been a judge over this nation. And as you can find out, it has not been more than 12 days since I was in Jerusalem to worship. But you know what? They didn't find me disputing with anybody in the temple. They did not find me stirring up a crowd, either in the synagogues or even out in the city. They didn't find me doing that. Neither can they prove to you the charge that they bring against me now. But I will admit this to you. According to the way which they call a sect, I worship the God of our ancestors. And I believe that everything laid down according to the law or written in the prophets. I have a hope in God. A hope that they themselves also accept. We have this in common, that there will be a resurrection of both the righteous and the unrighteous. Everybody will be raised from the dead. Therefore, I do my best always to have a clear conscience toward God, and not just my people, but all people. Now, after some years, I came to bring alms to my nation and to offer sacrifices. I came up here for this. And while I was doing this, they found me in the temple. I was in the temple. And I was completing the rite of purification. And there was no crowd or disturbance at all. But there were some Jews from Asia. And they ought to be here before you to make... He's saying, the ones that actually saw me there, why aren't they here accusing me? Why is it somebody that heard something from somebody else? So the ones that saw me, the Jews from Asia that saw me there, they should be here saying stuff. If they would have anything to say against me. Or let these men here tell you what crime they had found when I stood before the council. Because they accused me in their council. What crime did they say I had done? Unless it was this one sentence that I called out while standing before them, that it's about the resurrection of the dead that I am on trial before you today. He says, that's the one thing they can accuse me about. And I don't deny that, because I think that's true. But Felix, who was rather well informed about the way, adjourned the hearing with the comment, when Lysias, the tribune, comes down, that's when I'm going to decide this case. I want to hear it from him. Then he ordered the centurion to keep him in custody. But look at this. I'm telling you, this light and dark thing is real. But to let him have some liberty, and not to prevent any of his friends from taking care of his needs. Right? He's already made a decision, hasn't he? I mean, not like an official decision. But who was he believing more? The Jews that were saying, this is an awful, pestilent fellow who does nothing but agitate people and cause disruption? Or is he believing, this guy hasn't done nothing worthy of this mess? Now, if he's going to let his friends come in and take care of him, he must not be too awful. So some days later, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, who was Jewish, he sent for Paul and heard him speak concerning faith. He's like, all right, Paul, tell me what you got to say. And as he discussed justice, self-control, and the coming judgment, Felix became frightened and said, I need you to go away for a while. And when I have opportunity, I'll send for you again, because I think Paul was probably getting pretty close to home. But at the same time, he hoped that money would be given him by Paul, because bribery was a common thing back then. And for that reason, he used to send for him very often and converse with him. But you know what? Even though he hoped for the bribery, thinking God was using that as an opportunity. All right, Paul, come on. Come talk to me. And every time he's hoping, he would put a little green in my hand. Well, probably not green, because back then they used metal coins and stuff. You know what I mean. But every time Paul got to talk to him. After 2 years had passed, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. And since he wanted to grant the Jews a favor, he left Paul in prison. He was a politician. So. Well, that was it. I thought there was more. There is more. We're just not done yet, because I know he talks to Festus and all those. At one point he said, Paul, you almost persuade me to be a Christian. He's like, I wish you were, except I wish you were just like me, except for these chains. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for putting up with me and for listening. Hopefully that was worth the price of admission. Acts is honestly my favorite book in the Bible. Because, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I love those. And I love Jesus' teaching, because it is the foundation of all we have. But when I read Acts, I see people like us. And, they are in the same boat as we are. The Lord had already ascended up to heaven. He's not here on earth with us anymore. How could we be? Not how we are, because I think there's still some differences between what we have now and what they had back then. But when I look at Acts, and I'm like, right, do I talk the way they talk? Do I act the way they act? Do I pray the way they pray? Do I sing the way they sing? And it gives me a goal. It gives me something to reach for and something to pray about. Lord, I want to have the faith that they have. I want to turn the world upside down the way they did. All right, and forgive me, I don't want a battle, but I want the enemy to worry about me the way they did Paul. All right, I'm not asking for a fight, but I'm asking to be as effective, as useful to God as His people in the New Testament. And when I look at Acts, I see what's possible for us, and I think that should be a goal for all of us. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all I got. Anybody got any questions, comments, anything you need to say? Thank you, Miss Nancy. You always say that. I think you're too kind. All right, then we're going to bow our heads and we're going to seek the Lord. We're going to be dismissed, and we're going to pray for our Sunday morning service, because we need it, and Jackson needs it. Jackson needs our support. So, our brother Watts, if you rather, that's more respectful. But all right, if y'all will bow your head, Father, we love you. Now, I love how faithful you have been to your people, and how you make ways when we don't see ways. And you cause things to happen that protect us. And even sometimes when you ask us to go through the hard things, you never abandon us, and we love that. I thank you for your word, for how strong and clear it is, and how it shows us what can be. May you make in us a people that want to change, that want to take up whatever you offer, and to go forward with you. So make of this place a people who loves you as much as the people back then. A people who bow down, who are low and humble and let you work. A people of faith who are not afraid to stand up for you, even when we don't always see the plan. That we trust who you are and why you do things. And may your hand be upon this place and upon us as individuals and us as a congregation. And may you be with Brother Jackson and lift him up in spirit this morning and grant that your mind would be his, and that when he speaks your word, it would be you speaking to us. And as we worship, receive our praise, receive our offerings, receive our prayers, we love you and honor you. Make this your place today, O Father, and every day going forward. And it's in your Son's precious holy name that we ask all these things. And everybody said, Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Tony again. Let me ask you a question. Do you have questions that you would like answered? Do you want advice on spiritual things? Because I want to help. I really would. I'd like to help you if I can. Now, let me be honest. I can't promise that I can solve every problem you have, or that I can meet your every need, because that's not going to happen. I can't. Um, and if I told you I could, it would be a lie. But I'm not going to lie to you. What I can promise is that if you ask me for something, then I'm going to at least pray about it for you. And, I'll try and help if I can, but, it's if I can. Um, if you would like my prayers or my advice or to talk about scriptural things or anything like that, what I want you to do is to text me or email me at hegavemea story@gmail.com. No spaces, no nothing, just all one word. Hegavemea story@gmail.com. Now, there are some specific instructions to make sure I get it. So, what I need you to do to make sure and put help shared faith either in the subject line or in the body of the text. Shared Faith is just the name of my Facebook page. And it's the filter that is going to send that email straight to me. Because if you don't put help shared faith in there, there's a good possibility I won't get it for weeks or months, if ever. And I don't want that to happen. So please make sure you put help shared faith either in the subject or the body of the text. And that's all I really have to say about that. I do want to say thank you for coming, for listening to the things I have to say, and for giving me the opportunity to present what I think God wanted me to talk about. I know that sounds a little presumptuous, but I really feel like he leads me in these things. And I just wanted to share. So thank you for coming. And I pray that God really does bless you and your life, and that he works to build you up and to make things better, to fill you with love and joy and happiness and all these wonderful things. I love you. God bless you. And hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much.